The winter air in downtown Chicago cut through Jason's thin jacket like a knife. At just 17, he had already learned to survive on scraps and street corners. Snow crunched beneath his worn-out sneakers as he shuffled along the sidewalk, backpack slung over one shoulder. His stomach growled empty for hours. Jason's eyes scanned the street for any sign of warmth or shelter. The city lights reflected off the icy pavement, creating a false sense of comfort in the freezing night. He hugged himself, wishing for a meal or even a cup of coffee. Every step felt heavier than the last, his energy fading with the biting wind. Ahead, he noticed movement. A figure slumped against a brick wall near an alley. A young woman sat there, clutching her arms around herself. Her black leather jacket was ripped, and her jeans were smeared with dirt. Beside her lay a battered motorcycle helmet and a broken chain lock. Jason slowed, curiosity mixing with concern. The woman's face was pale, and her eyes reflected pain and exhaustion. Despite the harsh cold, she shivered violently. Jason's heart tightened. He knew what it felt like to be ignored, to be invisible to the bustling city. The thought of leaving her there made him uneasy. Jason reached into his pocket, feeling the last dollar he had earned doing odd jobs earlier in the week. He hesitated for a moment, calculating whether he could survive another day without it. But when he looked at her shivering form, the decision was easy. He stepped forward, heart pounding, and held out the $1. The woman looked up, startled. What is this?" she asked, her voice trembling. Jason shrugged, trying to smile through chattering teeth. "Just help someone when you can," he muttered. The dollar felt heavier in his hand than ever before, carrying the weight of all his own struggles and empathy for her pain. Her eyes softened, glimmering with gratitude. She reached out and accepted the dollar, clutching it as if it were a lifeline. Jason noticed her scarred knuckles and bruised knees, realizing she had faced more than just a cold night. For a brief moment, the city noise faded, leaving only the quiet connection between two strangers in need. Jason wanted to say more, but found no words. He nodded and turned to continue down the sidewalk, feeling strangely lighter, despite giving away his last money. The woman waved faintly, a small smile breaking through her weary expression. Jason walked on, unaware that this small act of kindness would ripple far beyond that icy December night. As he disappeared into the snowy streets, the city carried on around him, oblivious to the moment that had just passed. A homeless teen and a stranded biker girl had shared a brief, meaningful connection, bound by compassion. That $1 was more than money. It was hope, warmth, and a reminder that even in the darkest times, human kindness could shine through. The next morning, Jason awoke to the harsh Chicago cold, curled up on a worn blanket near the corner he called home. His stomach ached, and the snow crunched under his thin shoes as he moved. He had no idea that the events of last night would soon change his life forever. A deep, rumbling sound broke the quiet. Jason looked up to see dozens of motorcycles approaching, their engines roaring through the empty streets. His heart raced. Hundreds of Hell's Angels bikers emerged from the mist, their leather jackets black as night, adorned with patches and insignias. Jason froze, unsure if he was in danger or being targeted. The bikers encircled him in silence, forming a tight ring. Jason's pulse quickened as he glanced at their stern faces, the air thick with tension. Then, through the crowd, Emily appeared, her bandana tied neatly and her injuries hidden beneath her jacket. Her eyes met his, calm yet commanding, and he felt a strange sense of safety. Emily stepped forward, holding a thick envelope in her gloved hands. "This is for you," she said softly. Jason blinked in disbelief, barely able to comprehend what was happening. The envelope felt heavy with more than money. It carried respect, gratitude, and the promise of a new beginning. His hands trembled as he accepted it. He opened it slowly, revealing enough cash to rent a small apartment, buy food, and even purchase warm clothes. The realization hit him with overwhelming emotion. His life could change in an instant because of a single act of kindness he had shown the night before. He was stunned, speechless. Emily smiled faintly and nodded toward the other bikers. "They wanted to show you respect," she said. Jason's eyes widened as he noticed the nods, slight gestures, and silent approval from the hundreds of leather-clad riders. They weren't threatening him, they were acknowledging him, a gesture Jason had never experienced before in his life. Tears welled up in his eyes, and he struggled to speak. I don't know what to say," he stammered. Emily shook her head. "You don't have to. You did what most people wouldn't, helped someone when it mattered. That's all the thanks anyone needs." Her words warmed him more than any blanket could. The bikers stayed for a few moments longer, their silence powerful and respectful, before revving their engines and disappearing down the street like shadows melting into the city. Jason watched them go, feeling both awe and gratitude. He realized the world still held people capable of loyalty, honor, and generosity, even in unexpected places. For the first time in years, Jason felt hope. He folded the envelope carefully, tucking it into his coat. The snow seemed less harsh, the wind less biting, and the city more welcoming. That single act of kindness, his dollar given in compassion, had created a ripple effect far larger than he could have imagined. Jason walked toward the nearest coffee shop, his steps lighter than they had been in months. He understood that kindness could truly change a life, and as he looked back toward the empty street where the bikers had vanished, he smiled, knowing he had experienced something extraordinary. A moment proving that compassion always finds its way back.